Take care of her grandma.
She takes after her grandmother. She's president of the student council next year at
Where?
Conway.
That is awesome.
And head cheerleader,
What's her name?
Morgan Cox. Morgan Cox.
I know that name.
Why do you know that?
You don't know just graduated last year.
Oh, yeah, was she a cheerleader?
Yeah, she played softball.
Oh, she was a softball
Softball,
player.
volleyball.
Then she knew Madeline. I can't think of Madeline's name.
Yeah.
Here's my other granddaughter. She's graduating from the 8th grade tomorrow.
They're a grown-up girl.
Wow.
She's taller than her sister. She went to Rapid Academy. She's going to be a Connie next year. Oh, yeah. She has to go to
go
Connie
get 'em.
because her sister said, no. She wanted to go somewhere else,
Round them
but
up.
not this year. Oh, and let me show you my baby granddaughter. Look what she did to her hair. I just hate that. She's autistic and she kept after her mama. She was only 10 years old.
Just one side.
Oh yeah, Sandy, look at this one. Sandy, look at this one. This is my 10-year-old autistic granddaughter.
Oh, wow.
She wanted her hair done just like that.
Hey, she knew, you know, she knew what she wanted.
She's too young for all that mess. That's a daughter-in-law, not a daughter.
So I can't say anything.
Good afternoon, members of the board. This board meeting of the Rapids Parish Library is called to order. If everyone would please join me in standing for the pledge and a short moment of reflection after. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We will begin with the chair will entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and second. Are you ready for the vote? All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Our agenda is approved. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the March minutes. I'll give the board members just a few minutes to review those minutes, and then the chair will entertain a motion unless there are corrections or questions. You should have received these digitally and also by mail, so should not take but a moment. The chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and second that we approve the March minutes. Are you ready for the vote? All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion to approve the March minutes carries. The fifth item on our agenda is public comments. Do we have any members of the public with us who would like to offer a comment? Hearing none, we move on to our financial report. Ms. Dubrow.
Good afternoon. All right, so I was able to send you all the report through email. We have decided, or I have decided, we're gonna make our cutoff the 14th. So anything that comes in before the 14th will go in the financials. Anything after that, I'll put in the next round, and then that way it's able to be emailed to y'all in time for the meetings. Are we good with that? Cool. Okay, so, the March financials, if you see under the health, retirement obligation, the 5329 is the amount that we have in reserve. This 6061 is what we have to still use for this year's, budget. So, we are still in great standing, financial wise for money. The revenue, if you look at the operating statement, 3045, we had $100 memorial come in. Any of the memorials, we do tend to separate and make sure that, Wes and acquisition, all that knows, so they know who they need to be applying that to. 3070 is a miscellaneous income. We wanted to let y'all know that, LLA did ask us to do the print of their brochures for that conference, and which they paid us, and that's where the $672 came from, just for a paint job. Yay, yay. We love when they decide to use our facilities. 3075 is our E-rate. You'll see a nice big change, 11,800 that we got for our first lovely amount of rebate. So they finally were able to get that started and pick up some of the prior months that they owed us. We should start seeing this as consistent. And, we have applied for the new year, starting in July. It has gone through USAC, and it has been approved, and it is now finalized. So starting in July, we should see a new set of E-rate come through. And we were approved for $125,000 to cover our internet. Wow. I love when they give me money. All right, at 3010, that is, all right, 3010. Revenue share. First check received. Yeah, so that would be our January check.
Instead of March.
That, well, it's the first quarter. They break the state revenue, breaks theirs into 4 quarters, and they send us 1 per quarter. So this 57 is the first check. We'll see the next check here in a couple months, or next month, June, yeah. So that was some of the biggest revenue that we had come in. If you'll flip over onto the expenses. 4135, we are seeing consistent increase in our copier. We love the amount of patrons who are coming in to use our facility, even if it's just for a copy or a fax, we're okay with that. So, we are looking at a steady incline of usage and service by our patrons. 4158 and 59, that is the correction that I mentioned to y'all, that I would put in the report, that the interest had been applied with the loan, so I have separated out the interest and balanced that out. 4198 was a security equipment. We did have to go in and place 4 new cameras at McDonald in our Glenmar branch, because there were areas that weren't seen. There were blind spots. So we went back and added some of those for safety. And those are running about $500 a pop now. So, as we replace cameras and fix cameras, we're gonna see, that increase, because the camera price went up on us. 4249, that was an adjustment, a correction. One of our FSA it automatically comes up to the 4249, and I have to manually change it, and I missed changing it. So I did correct it and put it where it belonged. And that was the FSA fees and the FSA withdrawals. 4319, we are updating our story stroke, which I'm sure Ms. Solis is going to touch on this, at the Martin Luther King branch. So y'all will get to see another update on that. 5550 is our Friends account. And you'll see the 1988 negative. That is because they paid us for something that was in December of last year. So we are actually on par with where we need to be with them. 5577 is the start of the receipts that had come in for the AACHC grand opening. So you'll see the receipts that had started coming in on that. And then 5692 is that new grant that we received. So that was that CS education grant, and those are the receipts we're gonna start seeing on those. So that covered March. Does anybody have any questions on the March statement? All right. Then we'll go on to April. And April, if you look at the reserves, we did go up just a little bit, because the amount budgeted for this year, is less. But it was, that still puts us in a good financial position, so when we have any major item come up, that we do have the reserves to fall back on if we need to. So quick notes, E-rate, you'll see our second round. We got 8,300 on that round. So that was, there. Okay, so the first one in March we got for the state revenue. There was the second one that showed up for the second quarter, in April. So they were a little late getting us the first one, but the second one came in relatively quickly. The expenses, if you see my notes that I gave to y'all, the internet expense cost us $92.78.15 for the month, and our E-rate covered $83.46 of it. So we actually only had to write a check for $932, which I think is wonderful. Because I mean, look at the $9,000 a month that we're paying for the internet.
Less than 1,000.
And we paid less than 1,000. So we are doing really well in that regard. 4155 is the professional fees. That's where we paid the auditor since they completed their portion and came and talked to us and presented the findings to y'all. We paid them for their service. 4198 was once again some more cameras. And 4211 was a little higher this round because we did take out 2 trees over at Heinston. One was very close to the building and dead, and we were worried about it falling on the building, so we had it removed. And one was toward the back of the property that would have fallen any kind of way and hit something. So we decided to prevent everything and just take it out completely. So it did cost us a little bit, but rather safe than sorry. That is pretty much the March and April. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question relative to 4230, the toner.
42 what?
Toner.
Toner?
Yeah, does that
Toner.
cover all of the branches and the main branch as well? or-
Yes.
How often,
The
how
toner
frequent?
line is the ones that we purchase, for those little desktop printers, any of the other staff needs. The copier machines, most of them are actually under contract with the copy people, and that's included in our expense. But this toner is for all the other little ones that ends up being at desks
Okay.
for our staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? The chair will entertain a motion to accept this report if it is your pleasure.
I move that we accept the report.
I second.
It has been moved and seconded that we accept the financial report for March and April of 2023. I'm sorry, 2024. Thank you. Are you ready for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you again, Ms. Stacy, and financial management for us. We're going to move on to item number 7, our director's report. Ms. Ruth Harper, you have the floor.
Thank you. You should all have your report in your packet. I'll just go over it quickly because there is quite a lot on it. So I'll hit the highlights of each section. If you have questions, please ask. We, of course, are undergoing a garden revitalization over at the Huey Delman House. The Alexandria Garden Club has been putting in a lot of work, a lot of effort. They spent Saturday, April 27th, removing all of the vines and weeds that had grown up in the front of that fence so that you could not see through that fence into the yard. It had probably been well over a decade since that had been completely cleared out. My husband enjoyed that project, and I drug him along as well. But we got that completely cleared out today, but the ladies and some representatives from Blue Cross Blue Shield have been returning, and they've been volunteering, and they have the garden looking amazing. They are currently putting mulch. They got a large load of mulch out, and we're also looking at some ways to make the pathways more ADA compliant, and we're looking at signage that will have all the botanic and common names for the native plants and local plants. So that's a really big project that's been working on. And they've been removing the plants that were killed in the drought and replacing some of those, and it's a really nice project. If you have a chance to stop by, please do. They were actually working on it earlier today. So the children's room ceiling was painted at our Martin Library. That was done by Miss Hannah Clark. She's from the LCU. That's always going to stick in there forever and ever. The LCU art department, and she did a phenomenal job. It's a whimsical mural on the ceiling of the children's area, and the kids can play a find the character game with it. It's very nice.
It's precious.
She did a really great job, and we're hoping to do a party unveiling for it during the summer and a celebration. Thank you for her. We've had a newspaper press release that went out, but we also want to do a little something else during the summer. And hopefully encourage more kids to come in and see it. So that's exciting. Stacy mentioned in her budgetary report about the story stroll. There are new Juneteenth inserts for the story stroll that are going in this week. So whenever you have a moment to stop by the King Branch in early June, please make sure you do that.
Yeah.
So those are going in this week. And of course, the tree trimming, as she mentioned, we had some trees that we were very concerned about, that they were no longer sound, and we were worried that another large wind would have caused damage either to our property or to someone else's, or heaven forbid someone be out there and be injured. So we had tree limbs removed as well as some trees. Then the facilities team has been working diligently with the direct services team on doing the branch spring cleanings, and those are wrapping up pretty soon. They've been doing a really good job working hard, getting everything from the carpets to all of the shelving to just everything clean. So they've been putting in a lot of hard work, and we really appreciate that. The staff association had their picnic. That is always the Tuesday of National Library Week, which is National Library Workers Day. And Miss Jordan stopped by and helped to be a lunch delivery driver. And so she came out and got to deliver some of the lunches to some of the staff, which they really appreciated. That was fun. We have a new offering through the state library's Louisiana Library Connection called Mango Languages. And that is just a language learning platform. So that's there. It offers 70 different languages, and then it offers 20 different options for ESL classes from different languages to English, which is a nice addition. My former library had Mango, but at the time they didn't have that extensive a repertoire of ESL classes, so that's a really good thing. And then we are converting to our new payroll system over the course of the next 2 months, so that transition has started. Jackie, Stacy, and Jennifer have been putting in a lot of hours looking at that and trying to make that transition as smooth as possible for everyone. And then finally, because it never goes smoothly and easily whenever you think everything is laid out and perfect, we found out a few weeks ago that Sabine Bank has been or is in the process of being purchased by the Texas Dow Employees Credit Union. This is problematic because we are not legally allowed to have our funds in a credit union. However, there is a question about whether or not Sabine Bank will still exist as an entity. We have those questions in at the bank. When Stacy and I went in to visit about, a week and a half ago? We went in to visit. They did not yet at the local level have the answers to our questions, so they're supposed to be reaching out to us once they get those answers. And then we have, we've already started doing a little bit of homework so that we have some backup solutions if we need to make some transitions into our accounts. So we'll see how that goes. And I think that's all that I have. Oh, wait, a couple more things. I'm sorry. I forgot how very many things there were on this one. I've been in touch with the Attorney General's office, and we are looking at some classes that they will be presenting in the fall on elder fraud prevention. They have a really great cybercrime prevention slate of classes, and a Be Smart with Your Smartphone that is about like keeping your password safe and how to prevent identity theft and basically people taking advantage of you financially on your smartphone. And they have a version that's basically for older folks, and they have one that's also for teenagers and 20-somethings. So I'm looking forward to that. And so we're going to be pursuing that in the fall and winter. And then finally, make sure that you've done all of your various and sundry trainings and turning your certificates. Any questions? Oh, very quiet.
Listening.
If there are no questions, thank you so much. Let us move on to the Direct Services Report. Ms. Mouton.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm going to yield my time to Ms. Pam Martin, who's the manager here at Westside. Last month we had, the last week of April was National Volunteer Week, and we just wanted to highlight some of our volunteers that we have here at Westside. And so, Ms. Martin.
Thank you. As Lene said, I am the manager here at Westside, and I've been here since 19 this time. So I've always heard it takes a village to, I'm sorry?
Since 19 what?
Oh, no, since 2019. Not that long. So I've always heard it takes a village to raise a child. And the older I get, the more I know that it takes a village to do anything. And so here at Westside, we are so fortunate to have many volunteers. And today I'd like to introduce you to a few of them. First, we have Ms. Helen Hemingway. Ms. Helen, stand up. So Ms. Helen's husband was positioned here with the U.S. Forest Service in 1970. She taught English in Michigan and Australia before coming to this area, and she taught at Alexandria Senior High for 30 years.
Wow.
She says, libraries have always been important in my life. Some of my earliest memories include my whole family browsing the shelves at the local library. So I enjoy volunteering at Westside, where I can do my part to help keep reading and research resources available to everyone. On Mondays and makes phone calls for us, which some days it's not many and other days it's quite a task for us. I know that on Mondays, no matter what Westside throws at me and my staff, that we will be able to handle it, because also on Mondays, we have Miss Linda Duplan. Miss Linda says she loves reading and working here at Westside. She's also a retired teacher of 18 years. In 1998, and I didn't know this until today, in 1998, she worked at the main library with Lois Grant during the summer reading program, and she really enjoyed that. Then in 2016, she brought her granddaughter, her 2-year-old granddaughter, to toddler time, where they both made many friends and had lots of fun. So Seconda Beatty, who's at Robertson now, was here at the time, and Miss Linda actually taught one of her sons, and so Seconda suggested that she volunteer, and it's all been history since then. She loves working at Westside. We love having her. She comes in Monday morning, 9 o'clock, that back door bell rings, and she says, "Where's my presents?" She wants to go look for books. She wants to put them up. She does anything we ask her to do, even braving the children's area. So we love Miss Linda. We love Miss Helen. And we also have today Maya Sudan, who has been with us for about 2 years now. Maya is just 15, but she is so wonderful, the attention she gives the children's area, and Maya will do anything for us. She goes to the children's area, she shelves, she straightens, she has labeled books for AR, she has packed grab-and-goes, she has made phone calls. She comes on Thursday afternoon, so that's another afternoon that we don't have to worry about what's going on. We know we're going to be taken care of, so we appreciate you, Maya. We have a few other volunteers that couldn't make it today. We have Miss Lisa Dufour. She's been here for about a year, and she packs grab-and-goes for us. If you have children or have been around when there's a lot of children in the library, you know when I say grab-and-goes, it's a little Ziploc baggie with supplies in it that Victoria has brainstormed and gathered all this, and someone has to separate it and put it in the bag. And last year, I think we did 3, 6,000, 100 bazillion thousand. So we appreciate Miss Linda when she comes in. We also have Miss Louise Simon that comes in on Thursdays and makes phone calls for us. And she will come in and stay until it's finished. And Miss Louise is also real good at book recommendations, so we appreciate her for that. And then on Saturdays, we have Rebecca Inger. She's been here about 2 years. She comes on Saturdays and she shelves and does whatever we need her to do on that. And that's really helpful for the Saturday afternoon, because it tends to get a little bit busy later in the day when we're starting to get ready to go home. So those are our regular volunteers. Also at Westside, we have some volunteers that just pop in and out. You know, kids will come in and their parents will say, "We need 10 beta hours by Friday." And I'm like, okay, do they mind dusting and vacuuming? We're going to get them. So I feel it's very important that as our volunteers are given to us, I think that as a library system, we have a responsibility to give back to the volunteers and to the kids that need those beta hours or whatever the hours are for, because we never know who we are going to encourage and what difference we can make in someone's lives, and that just continues on and on. So thank y'all.
Thank you so much to our volunteers. We appreciate you. All right, we will move on to our next item, which is our Human Services Report. Ms. Brown, I believe we have 4 separate ratifications, so I'm going to let her make her recommendations, and then we will vote on each individual.
Yes, all right. The first one is Jackie Cravens, and she is at our Johnson location as a circulation reference clerk. So you want to do them one at a time, or you want me to vote?
We have to do them one at a time. And you're recommending her.
Yes, and she be ratified.
The chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we ratify Ms. Jackie Craven Ready then? Are you ready for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the ratification passes.
All right, my next recommendation is for Maisie Gill. She is a circulation reference clerk at our main library downtown.
The chair recognizes Mr. Roach.
I make a motion we ratify Macy.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we ratify Ms. Guild. Are you ready for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the ratification passes.
All right, our next recommendation is for Lori Watts. She is our floating clerk that works in the outreach department. I move we ratify her.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded that we ratify Ms. Watts as a floating clerk, not flirting. Are you ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this ratification passes.
All right, and our final recommendation is for Leanne Moak, and she is at our Heinston branch.
Somebody
I'll
else.
make it.
So moved.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded that we ratify Ms. Leanne Moak as a reference clerk. Are you ready for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, Ms. Moak's position, in her position, is ratified. Thank you.
Figured I better get my name inside Macy's name. She won't forgive me.
Thank you, Ms.
Probably
Brown. Ms. Kirby, you are up next to tell us all about the programming.
Yeah, so I guess the first thing I'll say is because everyone walked in and asked about the art. So our artist of the month this month is Brandon O'Neill. So this is some of his photography. He kind of told me, he said, I would say wedding photography is my day job, but my passion is travel photography. So we see a little of that, but if you go to the Labousse branch, he just got back recently from India, and so all of his photography from India is on display at Labousse, and he told me that's because that's his favorite branch, because he's from DeVille, so he gave them his favorite work. But he's a fantastic artist, and we're excited to have him, because I know everyone was noticing. I told them these might be the largest canvases I've ever hung in here. Like but they look fantastic. Yes. So we'll just start with that. And Pam made me think we're talking about volunteers. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Gosh, we can't say enough about our volunteers. And this is kind of a West Side program hybrid. But our toddler time, which I used to read to your baby. It's like, when she said 2016, I said, oh no, not that long ago. But Miss Tony Love does our toddler story time now on Thursdays, and she is fantastic. We love her so much. So that is, we never have to think about it. It's just, we know it's going to be amazing. And we'll have 20 toddlers in there sometime. It's huge. Bless her. It's fantastic. So Miss Tony is awesome at that. And then, as we talked about the grab and goes, we do have some programming volunteers also. We have those regular grab and goes that go out every month, but I'm about to talk about summer reading, but you'll see in summer reading, every week there is a different children's grab and go. Teens have 2 for the summer, adults, so we are making thousands. Laurie, who y'all just ratified, is filling those bags in the back right now. Laurie and Keisha are preschool outreach manager. It's grab and go central back there. And so it's, to get those little kits out, it's a lot of work, and Victoria does a great job of organizing it all and choosing the crafts and getting all the supplies, but it does take a village to make those grab and goes work. So shout out to our volunteers. I was just going to talk a little bit because summer reading is, we are right here. It begins June 1st. So our theme this year is Adventure Begins in Our Library, and we love encouraging the kids to read more. There are studies that say if kids don't read all summer long, they'll come back to school at a lower level than when they left. If they can read just 3 books, they can maintain that level, and if they read more, they could even improve. So our goal is let them read. It doesn't have to be AR. It doesn't have to be. They can pick any book they want, but we want them to read in the summer. And also, same goes for teens. And then adults, too. They want to be part of the fun. So we encourage everyone. So for children, as they read, the more minutes they read at different increments, they'll get small incentives. The teens we've found that teens don't like to read for little things. They want bigger prizes. So what we have for teens is if they read a certain amount of time each week, they get put in a drawing. And the prizes are things like a gift card to Wayback's Arcade, or let's see, we have some wireless earbuds, just things that teens would want. So if they read every week, they get put in those drawings. And then adults, same, they get put in a drawing at the end of the summer for a $50 gift card to the local business of their choice. So everyone gets something. We did have a small change. If you've seen the flyers for summer reading, we did very last minute have to change one of our entertainers. And this is so rare that it happens. It's happened to me one other time since I've been here in my 16 years. But Brian and Terry Kinder, who have come here for years, Mr. Brian just got a cancer diagnosis, and he's starting chemo actually today. So his doctor expects him to make a full recovery, but he is having to take the summer off and focus on his health and his treatments. So that did have to change rather abruptly. We were lucky because entertainers book out a year, 2 years in advance. So we were able to get Terrence Morgan with the TMM Project. He does hip hop dance, different kinds of music. He is going to do all the branches except he couldn't do the Thursday. So Miss Rosa Matwire is going to do storytelling on that Thursday, which Rosa's always amazing. So we were so lucky to get people at such short notice, and great entertainers too. So remember Brian, he's a good friend of the library also, and in this time, because he's, again, his doctors feel very confident, but he will be taking the summer off, and not singing and performing all summer will just be so hard for him. That man loves to sing. So yeah, we're really excited about some reading. People can already kind of go in Beanstack and look and pre-register, but yeah, the reading will start June the 1st. Does anybody have any questions?
The only question I have is, could we have some of those
Yeah,
flyers,
you know what?
please? 'Cause
I can go
they're-
print you
they're
some
not
right
in
now.
our
Yes,
folders.
I will go get you some.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carla.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to I don't see Miss Janie. Is someone else here from Miss Janie?
No, Ms. Janie's out. I can just give you guys a quick update.
Okay.
We have experienced, like many other businesses and individuals, some internet outages lately. There have been some
Yes.
disruptions of service. Thankfully, as of right now, all of ours are working fine. My fingers are very firmly crossed though, because for a large portion of the day yesterday, we were out.
Thank you. I thought it was just
It was
me.
not. It was not. It was a regional disruption, and that has been happening. It didn't have anything to do with us, and Monty has been really good about getting in our tickets with AT&T as soon as those outages occur, and getting us back as soon as they're able to bring the grid back up. So that's just been something we've been dealing with, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, 3 of our members of our IT department and ILS will be going out to the Tech Fest at the State Library, where they'll be looking at some different cybersecurity and other solutions and ideas that they're going to be sharing. So they're going to be going out there tomorrow. So that's all she really had to report.
Thank you for that. I do see Miss Buller.
Good
Miss
afternoon.
Buller will give us a public relations report.
Yes, and y'all may not know this, but we have added marketing to my title as public relations and marketing. So because I have 25 years of marketing and public relations, and I think, you know, like every business, the library should be marketing our services to the public for those that don't know about some things. So yeah, that's part of what I'm going to talk about too, though, is that we have now added, Matt Martin is our full-time PR tech, and then we have added Brianna Fout, I never say her last name right. You know, Brianna Fout to the PR marketing team. And so she is helping us make sure that every single program we have is on social media. So if they don't get a guide, they can see it on social media. And so she is a great asset, and she's over at Maine because we don't have room for her in the admin building or annex. But so we welcome her to our department. Right now, we're getting out, the June event guide should be out this week, and all June programs should be turned on to register. So if y'all want to register for a program by the end of the week, y'all will be able to for June. Matt created a landing page on our website for Beanstack, because over the past couple years, we hear from some people that say that they don't know how to do it, and the branches are very great about teaching them, but this is a great way for them to just go to our website and it will teach them a how-to, and so they can all join the summer reading program. It's just one step to help them get in there. Right now with PR, we are preparing to go to all the branches and train them on social media, so that we're doing a good job on our end promoting the programs, but we can't be at every branch for every program all the time. And we need to see the faces of the people that are in our branches, and they need to be on our social media pages, obviously those that are approved for their faces to be seen on social media, but we need to see their faces. So Brianna and I are going to go to all the branches and train them on best practices, procedures on how to post as well to social media. So speaking of that, we're rolling out summer reading right now. We're getting ready to start we've already started promoting, but we're really starting to push the big summer reading promo. And one of the things we have for summer reading is it's about adventure in our libraries and our community. And so we've asked each of the branches to show maps and interesting things around their communities, each individual branches, that people can learn about in our communities, not just in the library. And so we had a fun idea that we would get a library mascot, and the mascot could go around to all the places in the community, and we can take pictures of it out at different places or in the branch on the stacks or wherever it may be. And so each branch is going to have their own mascot with a bandana with their branch name, and then we'll have two general ones that just might be in different places around town. And so this will be fun and help kids get interested. But this is Albert Einstein, and he's going to teach you a bunch of fun stuff. Albert Einstein. And he's going to be a fun promotion all summer. So the branches will be posting their owl. Brianna and I will be posting around town in the branches, different things and ways to kind of help show additional resources we have in the library by saying, look what Albert is working on today. You know, he's working on this grab and go, building a toilet paper binoculars or whatever it may be. And so that'll be a fun little summer reading promotion. It's our new library mascot.
Cool. Is he for the whole library or just for Westside?
Every branch will have this exact owl, but their owl will have a bandana with the thing. So, and then we'll have about 10, one for each branch, and then 2 extras for me and Brianna and Matt and PR to go do fun stuff around town that just says, you know, like whether it was Riverfet or whatever it may be, saying, look, the library's at Riverfet, you know, blah, 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 whatever it may be. So, yeah, every branch will have their own one to promote internally, though. So, okay. Any questions? Thank y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Fuller. I think you're going to have a packed house. Item number 13 is old business. Is there any old business that the board needs to discuss? Hearing none, we move on to new business, and we have several items. The first is the establishment of the new library bank account for AACHC, which is, Ms. Dubrock told me, it's
African American
Cultural Heritage Center.
Culture and Heritage Center.
Gonna need a big sign. Ms. Dubrock, would you like to discuss that, or Ms. Rich Harper? Who's gonna handle that?
I can.
Okay.
We just need, thankfully, we've had a lot of interest about the AACHC, and a lot of community members and people from afar who have offered to support the project. And we're incredibly grateful for that. And there's people who would like to make monetary donations for the upkeep of the center and the development of the center. And in order to make that happen more easily, we wanted to set up an account that is specifically for the maintenance and growth of the AACHC. And so we asked our banker what information we would need, and we would just need minutes from you all with a motion that establishes the name of the account, which would be Rapides Parish Library African American Culture and Heritage Center. And then the signers on the account would be the same as our signers on our other account. It's 2 required signatures, and that's what our stamp is, mine and Stacy's. So it would be Celeste Reach Harper, Stacy Dubrock. And then in parentheses, director and business manager. That way, in case either of those positions change in the future, that can be changed to the new director and business manager. So we just needed that set up. And the reason is, if we have that set up, we'd like to make it so that we can have a scannable QR code and information so people can make, they can make electronic donations, yeah.
And it would go specifically into that account, specifically for that, and not in our general fund where it gets mixed in with everything else.
Right.
Are you gonna be doing that at Sabine, or are you gonna do it at another bank, just in case?
Well, we're gonna go ahead and set it up, because we do have people who are already interested, and we do have some monies that are already set aside in our current accounts.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and establish it, and then if we have to change it, if I'm being completely honest and frank, that's gonna be the least of our worries, that account. Our other accounts are gonna take a little bit more, payroll stuff and things are gonna take a little bit more effort. So this will be relatively simplistic to change this one. So I'm not too concerned about this one. But I would like to have it set up sooner rather than later.
Already.
Right.
If we comes to the point of us changing banks, that becomes our problem. I'd rather move all of them than have to, a couple of them here, there, and everywhere. It makes it easier to move all of them if it's already established.
I'll move that we establish a new library bank account for AACHC.
I'll second.
Right, go ahead, Dana. I'll yield to you.
I second it. It was me.
It has been moved and seconded that we establish the new library bank account for AACHA funds. Are you ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion to establish this new account has passed.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Along those same lines, for the inaugural event, which was packed, it became very evident that King Branch eventually is gonna need some more space, members of the board. So at some time down the road, when we are, pardon me?
I say thank you.
Yes. At some time down the road, when we are able to, that will be an item that will come up, because the area was quite limited for that program, and it's the times that I've been there, there have been quite a few patrons. It's well visited.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on. The next item is the discussion of board member contact information. And we are listed, we have email addresses with the library, and we have personal phone numbers that are listed. This is standard operating procedures, so if there are any questions, I think
We don't have emails or phone numbers listed.
We do have emails.
We do have
Well, they're not
Email,
listed, they're not
yeah,
listed,
they-
that you have to click them, that's probably confusing. I think you mentioned in the
I believe that
email.
has been corrected. Now let me
Okay,
check to make
if
sure.
it, I think if you just list the email, but there are not personal phone numbers on there.
No, the personal phone numbers were removed,
Thank
a couple
you.
of years ago in order to protect privacy. And I believe we have now remedied and having the emails on the side, not just linked. But let me verify that.
You have put the emails where, on the side?
Yes, on the side of the name. Previously, they were linked to the name.
Okay.
Okay, they are still showing up on my phone as linked to the name. Whenever we get back, Matt, just if you can move them over, because it's showing that it is on my phone, so I don't know if it's a different platform on the phones versus desktop, but regardless, please make sure those are separate. So I think that's an easy fix. We could even have it twice. We could have it so that if people do click on the name and then also on the side.
But the bottom.
Is that, I wanted to make that change, but I wanted to make sure you were all okay with it. We don't need to vote or anything, I just wanted to talk about it.
And the bottom line is the information is available.
Yes.
So. We are going to move on. We did have a request for reconsideration for this was a video of a movie. The title was Miracle. And the Policies and Reconsiderations Committee met, so I'm going to yield the floor to Ms. Hobbs and let her share with you the deliberations of the committee and make a recommendation.
The Policies and Reconsideration of Materials Committee met on April 17th, 2024. And as Ms. Jordan said, we received a request from a patron for reconsideration for a movie entitled Miracle. The movie was viewed before we met, and after much discussion at the meeting, we found that the contents of the movie should change, well, the rating should change. It was classified as PG-18.
13.
It was 13?
Yeah.
Because it's unrated.
It's unrated.
It's unrated by the MPAA.
But on his form, he had 18,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
it's PG-13.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we recommend, the committee recommended to honor the request because of the contents of the information that's included in the movie. And we classified we asked for a request to classify it as R and moved out of the teen section. So, and I think Ms. Lees can go into a little bit more as far as the ratings are concerned, talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah, let me hear more about the rating.
Okay, so this goes into the procedural, the way that we typically handle unrated movies. Whenever an unrated item comes in, our people who are processing usually look at the information that is on the descriptions, and they don't necessarily view all of the things that come in. So it's been practiced, and this was set long ago, that the practice is, because it's typically a lot of foreign films and things of that nature that come in that are unrated, that they are PG-13. However, given that there is a lot of more adult content in these unrated items, I want to propose that we change that procedure to make it so that, and this is not a policy decision, this is a procedural, that we would make it so that the unrated items are instead treated as R items and restricted to adult checkout and err on the side of caution. That's my procedural recommendation that we talked about in the meeting that.
Is this with adult consent, the parent?
I'm sorry, sir?
Is this adult consent that they could check it out for their kids, or kids can check it out based on age level?
Adults or any of the children who have, like, if they have a parent with them, but for movies, it has to be, the person has to be over the age of 18. It's the same way as, like, if you're going to a movie to buy a movie ticket.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
recommendation.
Would you repeat the recommendation, please, with the addition of the procedural change?
Okay. The recommendation was to, move it to a rating of R, take it out of the teen section, and put it in the adult section. That is our recommendation.
The chair will entertain a motion.
Can I do that? It's among the committee. Well, I recommend that we do change that to R.
I second.
It has been moved and seconded that we accept the recommendation of the reconsideration committee to change the rating on this particular title. Are there any questions? Any discussion? Are you ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Hobbs. I sat in with the group, and this particular film is one of the foreign language films. It was pretty complex. All right, at this time, the board needs to go into executive session. The chair will entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we go into executive session. Are you ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you. At this time, we would ask for you all to clear the room, please.
Ms. Mouton,